What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Kyle on the Call Sports. I'm Kyle Russo. On today's show, what I want to talk about is how the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick have made quarterback Mac Jones available this offseason. But before we get started, make sure to like this video, make sure to leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kyle on the Call Sports. Now, without further ado, let's get started. As I just alluded to, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots have made Mac Jones available this offseason. But before we get into these reports of Mac Jones being shopped around the NFL, let's talk about Mac Jones individually as the player that he is now 2 years into his NFL career. In his first season with the New England Patriots as a rookie, being selected in 2021 with the 15th overall pick by the Patriots, he finished off his rookie season with a record of 10-7 as a starting quarterback. He completed 67% of his passes, threw for over 3,800 yards, threw for 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. So not a great year by any stretch of the imagination, but a pretty good year for a rookie quarterback in the NFL. And also in this year, the Patriots did reach the playoffs. But unfortunately, the Patriots would lose this game 47-17 against the Bills, where Mac Jones in this game didn't perform great. But the whole team performed very badly in that game. If we remember correctly, Josh Allen threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. And also included in that game, the Bills never even sent their punter onto the field, which shows their dominance that they had in that game against Mac Jones and the Patriots back in 2021. But now fast forwarding to 2022. Now we did see a regression in Mac Jones's play. He finished off the year with a 6-8 record for the Patriots. He only played in 14 games. He dealt with some injury this year, which did cost him 3 games. He completed only 65% of his passes, finished with just under 3,000 passing yards, only threw for 14 touchdowns, and threw for 11 interceptions. So we definitely saw a step back this year. But when we talk about how Mac Jones played this year for the Patriots in this offense, we have to acknowledge a couple things. One of the first things that I think we should mention is that, like I alluded to, Mac Jones was hurt this year. He missed 3 games. So he did deal with some injury. Something else that we have to talk about when we talk about Mac Jones and how he performed this year is we have to talk about the offense as a whole. The offensive line did not perform very well this year. And when we look at the skilled players around Mac Jones this year, there was no consistency. Jacoby Myers was probably the best receiver for the Patriots this year. Devontae Parker was in and out of the lineup. Nelson Aguilar didn't do too much. Kendrick Bourne didn't do a lot this year. And 2 tight ends in this offense in Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, who since they signed with the New England Patriots back a couple of years ago, they haven't necessarily flourished in this offense and have helped Mac Jones as a quarterback. And if we look at what the New England Patriots have done so far this offseason, they didn't re-sign Jacoby Myers. They didn't re-sign Nelson Aguilar. They didn't re-sign Damian Harris. They traded away Jonnu Smith. They did sign Mike Gesicki, and they did sign Juju Smith-Schuster, and they did bring in Bill O'Brien to be the new offensive coordinator. But even with all that being said about what the Patriots have done this offseason, now with the new skill players on the offensive side of the ball that the Patriots have brought in, combined with what they lost on the offensive side of the ball, and also adding Bill O'Brien to call plays, even if Mac Jones remains the quarterback for the Patriots in 2023, how much better do those new additions to the Patriots actually make the Patriots offense? And how much of a difference will we see in Mac Jones's performance with a new offensive coordinator and a new receiver and a new tight end? To be honest, in my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, but I don't really see that much of a difference because they still don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Now, granted, they could address the wide receiver need in this year's draft, but at this point in time, they still need a number 1 wide receiver. And they don't have that, as far as I'm concerned, right now on their roster. So that's another factor. And another factor that I don't really think a lot of people are talking about too much, which they should be, is that the New England Patriots necessarily didn't have an offensive coordinator this year. They had Matt Patricia as an offensive assistant who called plays, who during his tenure with the New England Patriots was primarily a defensive coordinator or a coach on the defensive side of the ball now as an offensive assistant calling plays on the offense, and Joe Judge, who New England and Bill Belichick brought back onto this team to help the offense after being fired as the head coach of the New York Giants. In which, if you look at that team, the New York Giants back in 2020 and 2021, when Joe Judge was the head coach, they had one of the worst offenses in football. So when we talk about Mac Jones, and yes, he did regress this year, we must acknowledge these things in which I just talked about as a key reason to why he didn't necessarily play well this year. Now let's refer back to Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots making Mac Jones available this offseason. Now, one of the reasons that I've heard in the reports that I've read is that Mac Jones apparently during the season sought out other help on the offensive side of the ball outside of the New England Patriots organization. Now, in hearing this information, you could interpret it in two ways. You could look at it from the side of Mac Jones looking to improve upon his own abilities and improve upon himself as a player, looking to grow as a good quarterback in the National Football League. Or you could look at it as how some believe Bill Belichick has interpreted it, and is why Mac Jones is being made available, is what Mac Jones did may be insulting to Bill Belichick. As Bill Belichick, as we know, is not only the head coach of the New England Patriots, but he's also the GM of the Patriots. So by doing what Mac Jones did, going outside the Patriots, seeking help to improve upon his skills, it's an insult to the hiring that Bill Belichick did in hiring Matt Patricia to be an offensive play caller, in hiring Joe Judge to help out on the offensive side of the ball. And that's been the reported reason why Mac Jones has become available this offseason. Now, with that being said, the question that we find ourselves asking ourselves is, will Mac Jones remain a New England Patriot in 2023? And this is a great question because there is legitimate concern. If we go back to the days of Tom Brady, arguably the reason why Tom Brady wanted to leave New England was because of the way that Bill Belichick had been advocating for Jimmy Garoppolo, the backup quarterback at the time for the Patriots, to become the starter. And in hearing this information, the rumored reason to why Jimmy Garoppolo was then traded from the Patriots was because of Tom Brady's influence on the team to want Jimmy Garoppolo gone so that there wouldn't be any competition for the starting job. And the reason why I bring up this example is because if Bill Belichick was looking to replace Tom Brady, who's to say he can't replace Mac Jones, who has not nearly accomplished what Tom Brady had accomplished for the Patriots during his time with the Patriots? Now, another reason why this becomes an interesting conversation is because the New England Patriots hold the 14th overall pick this year, which means that they might be in contention to draft one of these top quarterbacks that we see in this year's NFL draft class. At the 14th overall pick, they won't be able to draft guys like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, but they may be able to get a quarterback such as Will Levis or Anthony Richardson or Hendon Hooker with the 14th overall pick. And if the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick are really serious about trading away Mac Jones, who's to say they don't pair that 14th overall selection with Mac Jones to move up in the draft to draft the quarterback that they want? That's definitely a possibility. Another possibility that's been rumored is Lamar Jackson to the Patriots. Obviously, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens haven't been able to come to an agreement on a long-term contract that keeps Lamar Jackson as the starting quarterback in Baltimore. And being that he was given the non-exclusive franchise tag back in early March, which was about a month ago now, and no team, at least from what has been reported, has been interested in Lamar Jackson or has offered Lamar Jackson a contract, the Patriots could definitely be interested in Lamar Jackson if they do choose to move on from Mac Jones. All of these avenues, such as moving up in the draft and drafting a quarterback, or staying at the 14th overall pick and drafting a quarterback, or signing a Lamar Jackson to a free agency deal, all of these things could be possible for the New England Patriots. However, in my personal opinion, I believe that Mac Jones will remain with the New England Patriots in 2023. As we've all heard, Mac Jones has been made available, but no trade has happened yet. And the majority of the teams that need a quarterback in the league are all drafting within the top 10, which means what? If they do feel that a quarterback is a need on their team, they have their options of selecting a guy like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker. This quarterback class is very, very good in this year's NFL draft. So, how many teams are really out there that are interested in trading for Mac Jones? Not only when you look at how good this draft class is, but also because of the fact that Mac Jones, yes, in his rookie year, it was a good rookie year, but he did take a step back in year two. So, once again, I think that Mac Jones is going to remain a New England Patriot for 2023. But with the draft approaching and these reports coming out about Mac Jones being available this offseason, this conversation has definitely become more interesting. But that'll do it here for me today, here on Kyle on the Call Sports. I'm Kyle Russo. Will Mac Jones remain a New England Patriot in 2023? I believe so. Make sure to like this video and make sure to leave a comment down below. And of course, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Kyle on the Call Sports. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.